There's an interesting thing going on in the comic book speculation and collector market right now, which is really blowing up, and I'm not really hearing anyone on YouTube talk about it. I'm sure there probably are channels out there, I just haven't seen any. So I figured I'd do a video commenting on it. So I'm sure all of y'all are familiar with the new Spider-Man character, Miles Morales. And of course, when I say new Spider-Man, I mean literally he is Spider-Man, but he's not Peter Parker Spider-Man. Miles Morales was originally introduced as a replacement for Peter Parker in the Ultimate Timeline. So it was an alternate timeline of comics that Marvel used to publish. Because they could do things in that storyline, that things like kill off Peter Parker and not have to worry about it affecting sales negatively, because in the regular timeline you still had all the Spider-Man Avenger comics and everything else. So they would have like a field day in the Ultimate, just doing all the things that they might want to do in the main universe, but just never did. Sales for the Ultimate Universe eventually dipped too much for them to keep it going, so what they did is they ended the Ultimate timeline, and they actually brought in a handful of characters, not many, but a handful of characters from Ultimate, and had some cosmic event thing where they all came over and became a part of our universe. The most notable was Miles Morales. Now, he is Spider-Man, but even in the Ultimate publications, his costume was a little different, and he had different powers. He had similar powers, but they were not identical to Peter Parker's. So he was his own unique Spider-Man, and not just a carbon copy of the original. When they brought him into the main timeline, they decided not to change the name, and they were just going to have more than one Spider-Man. So he's still Spider-Man, but his stories are often separate from the Peter Parker Spider-Man of today. Now, once they announced they were bringing him over into the main timeline, I knew that this would become an important character in the long term. And it was one thing I understood: his first appearance was not worth a lot of money when he was just as part of the Ultimate timeline, because not that many people cared about the Ultimate comics. But when they brought him over and made him a mainstay in the regular timeline, I'm like, okay, I bet his first appearance has become really hot, really go up in value. And guess what? It didn't. I mean, it was, worth a little bit, but not much. I saw copies going for, 10, 15 bucks. So, I mean, not very impressive numbers. But then they don't actually introduce him, but they hint at him in the MCU movies. In Spider-Man Homecoming, there's a vague reference to him. It's basically setting up that, hey, you know what, he might actually start appearing in our movies. And you think that would give the first appearance a bit of a bump. Little speculators going, ooh, we want to start grabbing this book while it's cheap. But that really didn't do much for the value of his first appearance either. Then he got his own movie. I mean, kind of. He was a featured character in the Into the Spider-Verse movie. Now, that was not live action, and that was not part of the MCU universe, but it was a popular movie. People really liked it. It got good reviews. People enjoyed it. So you're like, okay, well, that's going to do something for his first appearance. Not really much. But then something happens this last week. PlayStation announces the PlayStation 5, and they premiere a few of the games they're going to put out on it, and one of them is going to be a new Spider-Man game featuring Miles Morales. There's been some controversy around whether or not this is going to be a full game, a standalone game, or a DLC to the pre-existing Spider-Man game. But despite the gray area in this announcement that he's going to be featured in a game, even if it's not a full game, has caused his first appearance to suddenly skyrocket. As I'm doing this video, I'm actually right now looking on eBay and looking at sold books. So these are actually books for what people paid money for, not what they're listing them for, because people can list things for ridiculous prices that no one's going to pay. That's their prerogative. But let's actually see what people have paid for this. So, Ultimate Fallout number 4, which is that's the first appearance of Miles Morales, sold June 21st for $425. Here's another one. It's this one's, oh, and that was a raw copy, by the way, so not graded. Let's see, here's another one, Ultimate Fallout 4 CGC 9.6, $476.25. Let's see, I'm scrolling down a little more. Okay, here's one that we don't actually know what it sold for, because that was listed for $524, and they accepted a best offer on. Odds are it's probably upper 400s, and that's for another 9.6. Same thing with another raw. It was listed for $500. Someone bought it as a best offer. Here's another one. And by the way, these are all on June 21st, which is the day I'm actually doing this video. So this is not like, over a period of this last week. I haven't even gotten to June 20th yet. Here's another one that we went on auction. So it was an auction war for it. Went $375. The person estimated it was a 9.6 or a 9.8, but it's a raw, so it's you don't really know what you're getting there. Here's another one in a bid war, also from today, $300. This person just said great condition. It's not graded. Here's another 9.6 that someone did, and we're still on June 21st. Someone did pay $500 for. Another one that's a raw that someone paid $400 for. so on and so forth. Let me scroll around here and see if I can find. Here's a 9.8. Okay, here we go. A 9.8. This is sold today in an auction war. 18 people bidded for it, or there are 18 bids, and it sold for $1,000 and $1,025 to be precise. Is there any more 9.8s that sold on here? There's a 9.4 sold for $400. Let me see here. There's an 8.5. Again, we're still on today. Sold for $232. And I could keep scrolling, but let me actually go back up here. I'm going to go to the top, and let's take a look now at second prints, because that's the thing that's crazy about this. Is it's not just a first print. The second print of this issue is also going for a lot. Now, proportionally less, but usually like an issue like this, that's not really an old issue and which has been readily available for a long time, no one usually cares about second prints. But not the case in this time. For a second print here, I saw one that just sold for $70 and I buy it now. There was one that just sold, well, it was listed as 80, but they didn't accept offers, so probably about 70. Here's one that sold in a bid war for $57. Oh, this isn't even a second print. This is like a third or fourth print that just sold for $25. Here's another second print sold for $27.85. And oh, by the way, all the ones I'm listing, these are all ungraded. Here's another second print for $25 that just sold. Let's see, are there any graded ones? Oh, I missed this one earlier. Here was the 9.6, a variant where someone had it listed for $3,100, but accepted best offer. So, goodness, I wonder how much they paid for that. Looking. Not seeing any graded second print covers that sold today, at least. And of course, it doesn't surprise me. I mean, who goes off and sends second appearances to be graded? I mean, they probably will now. Oh, wait, I didn't see this one. This is another Ultimate Fallout 4 9.8 that's sold for, I buy it now for $1,150. Okay, I think I've kind of made my point. I've gone through this, and I've just shown you just how ridiculous this book is selling for now. And all because of a video game. So, I don't know. The funny thing is that obviously a lot of people are making this investment. Oh, someone got a bargain on this one. Here's a 9.8 that then a bidding war ended at $710. That's cheap. And sorry. Anyway, I'm a member of a few Facebook groups that are comic theme related. Some of them are speculative groups. Some of them are all about CGC grading. Some of them are key appearance groups. And universally, they're all saying this is practically a scam. Well, no one's doing anything dishonest here. That's not what I mean. But this idea that you would spend as much money getting a high-grade copy of Ultimate Fallout number 4, which came out 9 years ago, you'd spend the same amount of money as you would spend to get a Hulk 180, the first true appearance of Wolverine. It's just crazy. And so yeah, I think that this book had been for a long time due to go up. And I think it will remain a valuable book because Miles Morales is here to stay. He's an important character. He has a faithful fan base. So yeah, but it's just kind of weird that, if you wanted to buy it, the time has passed because it's not going to be a book that's going to hold value at $1,000+ for very long. And that seems to be the general consensus. So it'll probably come back down where a graded copy, a high graded copy might be worth $200 to $300. And that's pretty good for a book that just came out 9 years ago. But apparently the thing is, it's all about supply and demand. So Ultimate Fallout 4, there's a lot of high grade quality copies of this that exist in circulation. I mean, why is Action Comics #1 the most expensive comic book ever? Partly because, of course, it's so iconic for being Superman's first appearance, but also because, hardly any copies of that book exist. It's also part of the reason that Amazing Fantasy 15, the first appearance of Peter Parker Spider-Man, and Hulk 181, the first full appearance of Wolverine, have a night and day difference in the price. Hulk 181, while a very valuable book, an expensive book, is only worth a fraction of Amazing Spider-Man 15. Why? Because a lot more copies still exist in circulation in decent quality of Hulk 181. And another reason that's kind of doubtful that this book will hold its value is that video games have never really driven the value of a superhero's first appearance. This is really an unprecedented first. Movies, television, or something cool in the comic, yes. But Miles Morales has already had appearances on screen. And he's already become a very key character in the Marvel Universe prior to this. So why is a video game sending things over the edge? So if you're a fan of Miles Morales and you already got his first appearance, awesome. Get it graded, hold on to it. If you're not a fan of Miles Morales, but you have his first appearance, maybe you bought it, then sell now. Oh my goodness, sell, 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 sell. Now is the time. All right, that's all I got for this video. I will talk to you guys later. Bye.